The dark side of urban life. America's top corrupt cities. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into the shadowy underbelly of America's most notorious cities. While these urban centers may be known for their vibrant cultures and rich histories, they also have a reputation for something far more sinister: corruption. From backdoor deals to political scandals, corruption has woven itself into the fabric of these cities, impacting everyday lives and shaking public trust. So, grab your magnifying glass as we uncover the top 10 most corrupt cities in the United States and explore the stories behind the scandals. Buckle up. It's time to reveal the cities where the fight for integrity has faced its toughest battles. Number 1. Chicago. Chicago, Illinois, often tops the list of America's most corrupt cities, with a long history of political scandals and unethical practices. The Windy City has been marred by notorious figures, including corrupt politicians and law enforcement officials who have engaged in bribery, racketeering, and misconduct. High-profile cases, such as the conviction of former Governor Rod Blagojevich, highlight systemic issues within local government. Despite efforts to combat corruption through reforms and transparency initiatives, the city struggles to shed its tarnished reputation. The intertwining of crime, politics, and a culture of patronage continues to pose significant challenges for Chicago, leaving many residents disillusioned. Number 2. New Orleans. New Orleans, Louisiana, is frequently cited as one of the most corrupt cities in the U.S., with a history marked by political and law enforcement scandals. The city's reputation for corruption was highlighted during and after Hurricane Katrina, when allegations of misconduct and mismanagement emerged. From bribery and embezzlement to systemic abuse within the police force, New Orleans has struggled with maintaining public trust. High-profile cases involving city officials and contractors have further tarnished its image. Despite efforts to improve transparency and accountability, the legacy of corruption continues to challenge the city, impacting its governance and community confidence. Number 3. Detroit. Detroit, Michigan, is often cited as one of the most corrupt cities in the United States, with a troubling history of political scandals and financial mismanagement. The city's governance has been marred by widespread corruption, particularly during its bankruptcy in 2013, which revealed significant abuses of power and unethical practices among officials. High-profile cases, including those involving former Mayor Quam Kilpatrick, have exposed a culture of bribery and kickbacks within local government. Despite ongoing efforts to rebuild and reform, Detroit continues to struggle with its reputation for corruption, which has deeply affected public trust and hindered economic recovery in the Motor City. Number 4. Los Angeles. Los Angeles, California, frequently appears on lists of the most corrupt cities in the United States, grappling with a range of corruption issues involving public officials and law enforcement. The city has seen numerous scandals, including bribery, fraud, and misuse of public funds, which have undermined trust in local government. High-profile cases, such as those involving city council members and police misconduct, have drawn national attention and sparked calls for reform. Despite efforts to increase transparency and accountability, the pervasive culture of corruption in Los Angeles continues to challenge civic engagement and effective governance, leaving many residents disillusioned with their leaders. Number 5. Baltimore. Baltimore, Maryland, ranks among the most corrupt cities in the United States, grappling with a long history of political scandals and corruption within law enforcement. The city has faced multiple high-profile cases involving city officials and police officers accused of bribery, fraud, and misconduct. The corruption crisis was highlighted by the scandal surrounding former Mayor Catherine Pugh, who was found guilty of fraud and conspiracy. Additionally, the Baltimore Police Department has faced scrutiny for issues related to abuse of power and corruption. Despite efforts to promote accountability and reform, Baltimore's legacy of corruption continues to undermine public trust and hinder community progress. Number 6. Philadelphia. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, is often included in discussions of the most corrupt cities in the United States, with a history marked by scandals and unethical practices among public officials. The city has faced numerous corruption cases, including bribery, fraud, and misuse of public funds. High-profile convictions of politicians and city employees have revealed systemic issues within local governance. The infamous City Hall scandal and the conviction of former Mayor John Street for campaign finance violations highlight the challenges of accountability in Philadelphia. Despite ongoing efforts to enhance transparency and public trust, corruption remains a significant concern, impacting the city's political landscape and citizen engagement. Number 7. Miami. Miami, Florida, is frequently cited as one of the most corrupt cities in the United States, marked by a history of scandals involving public officials and law enforcement. Corruption has manifested through bribery, kickbacks, and mismanagement of city contracts, eroding public trust in government. High-profile cases, such as those involving city commissioners and police officers, have drawn national attention to the city's struggles with integrity. Despite efforts to implement reforms and increase transparency, Miami continues to grapple with the effects of corruption, impacting its governance and the overall confidence of its residents in local leadership. Number 8. Cleveland. Cleveland, Ohio, is often ranked among the most corrupt cities in the United States, with a long history of political scandals and unethical practices. The city has witnessed numerous cases of bribery, fraud, and misconduct involving local officials, significantly eroding public trust. High-profile corruption cases, including those involving former mayors and city council members, have highlighted systemic issues within Cleveland's governance. Despite ongoing efforts for reform and accountability, corruption continues to challenge the city's political landscape, leaving residents frustrated and disillusioned with their leaders and the integrity of local government. Cleveland's legacy of corruption remains a pressing concern for its future. Number 9. Atlanta. Atlanta, Georgia, often appears on lists of the most corrupt cities in the United States, grappling with significant corruption issues among public officials. The city has faced various scandals involving bribery, kickbacks, and misappropriation of funds, which have undermined public trust in local governance. High-profile cases, such as the scandal involving former Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed, who faced federal investigations related to corruption, have drawn attention to systemic issues within city administration. Despite efforts to enhance transparency and accountability, Atlanta continues to struggle with the impact of corruption, affecting its political landscape and civic engagement. Number 10. Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., despite its status as the nation's capital, faces significant scrutiny regarding corruption. As a major political hub, it is often cited for instances of corruption linked to lobbying, political contributions, and bureaucratic misconduct. The city's complex web of power and influence, combined with the high stakes of federal politics, can lead to questionable practices. Although corruption exists at various levels, it's crucial to note that D.C. also has stringent oversight and regulatory frameworks designed to address and mitigate such issues. The perception of corruption here often reflects broader national concerns about political integrity. And there you have it, our countdown of the top 10 most corrupt cities in the United States. It's a sobering look at the challenges facing these cities, but awareness is the first step towards change. What do you think? Did any of these cities surprise you? Or is there a city you believe should have made the list? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications so you never miss out on our latest content. We've got more deep dives and eye-opening lists coming your way. Stay informed, stay curious, and remember, knowledge is power. Until next time, keep questioning and stay sharp.